Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines we have for you today. We got this. John Deaton on Ethereum and security designation for proof of stake. He's going to talk about it. The EU, first major jurisdiction to agree on crypto framework. We got BRICS news and expansion. You're going to want to know about it. Brazil's leader, what's he calling for? End of the U.S. dollar dominance in trade. And guess what else we got? Ripple partner gets a license for cross-border global payments, baby. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content. Right now, $1.31 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is up 1.8%. Good afternoon, everybody. 30,400 plus for Bitcoin right now, and $2,000.50 for Ethereum. That's what we're looking at. And Tether market cap, $80.6+ billion at the moment. That's what they're saying. And XRP is 51 cents right now, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look at this. XRP Las Vegas is sold out. And no better present than my birthday to get a sold out show for XRP Las Vegas inaugural event. It is going to be a remarkable, remarkable experience. I tell you that we will not stop until it's undeniable before you leave that building. I can tell you it's going to be incredible. I want to shout out a couple of our sponsors. We got so many here, but I Trust Capital is one of them, and you can check them out with the link underneath the video. Buy and sell crypto, precious metals 24/7, tax advantage, transfer your existing IRA, or start a new one. But I can tell you this. Nothing feels as good as buying crypto other than buying tax-free crypto. And that's exactly what you could do with iTrust Capital. And by the way, it's institutional custody because it's an IRA. And here's Link2, ladies and gentlemen. Since the launch of Link2's investment platform, we've featured 240 plus investments and 55 companies on the platform. 6 of those 55 companies have already exited. Join Link2 and invest in the world's top performing private companies with ease. I'm telling you right now, this is an amazing opportunity, and you don't know what you need to do to be accredited. Click the link, find out, because I tell you, these are the companies that are helping to build out the infrastructure for this incredible digital revolution we are on. Oh boy, here we go. Couldn't all be good news, right? Justin Sons gets a summons for SEC lawsuit here. This is something we are going to follow just like we followed everything else, whether it's Voyager or whether it's Celsius or whether it's FTX. You know, we see Justin Sun has come under fire now. We're going to keep an eye on it, and we'll bring you the latest on it as we get more information. But until then, here is John Deaton representing 75+ thousand XRP holders in a class action lawsuit. And by the way, he's going to be on a fireside chat on that stage. We're going to do some Q&A. You're going to get to ask questions. If you got yourself a ticket, you're going to get to talk to him. Cannot wait. It's going to be amazing. Take a listen to this clip, what he says here.
When ETH was a proof of work system, just similar to Bitcoin, you're relying on the miners and computers worldwide to solve some cryptographic sequence, solve this mathematical problem to get the rewards. So that was considered a system that is decentralized. However, when you merge to proof of stake, then the people that own the tokens, and the more tokens you own theoretically have an impact because they control and secure the network. And so proof of stake is considered more centralized than proof of work. And so that's basically the theory of how Ethereum could have moved by proof of stake to become now a security. And if you look at that New York case, I'll tell you, the New York, according to the lawsuit, I'll read to you what it says. It says, by shifting, just for the audience, I'm talking about New York Attorney General's lawsuit against KuCoin that said ETH is a security.
Yes.
Quote, by shifting to proof of stake, ETH no longer relies on competition between computers, but instead now relies on a pooling method that incentivizes users to own and stake ETH, end quote. The shift to proof of stake significantly impacted the core functionality and incentives for owning ETH, because ETH holders can now profit merely by participating in staking. And that's important because look at Gary Gensler's view on staking. He shut down Kraken staking. And they removed it. They're actually withdrawing their ETH staking for US holders. They threatened Coinbase a year and a half ago. If you offer that lend product like BlockFi had, we're going to sue you. And so staking, because it's similar to gaining interest, so to speak, from a bank, that's where they're focusing on. And so that's the real danger for ETH.
And that is the real danger for ETH. You know, I've said this many times, but I want to highlight it again. What I see taking place is that the New York Attorney General is essentially doing SEC the favor of mentioning ETH as a security in that KuCoin lawsuit. And I think because the SEC doesn't want to directly sue Ethereum over it, because they know that there's the Hinman emails and that's a problem for them. So I think having the New York Attorney General do the bidding for them and covering that angle does a couple of things. One, let's look at it in a macro. Let's pull back a little bit. Proof of stake, proof of work, consensus federated Byzantine agreement, right? These are different technologies that are used by different protocols. And I think it's more about legally going after the different technical protocols and the way that they operate to get a clear legal definition about them. And then we have these clear legal rulings and precedents, or whatever they end up being, that allow for these different buckets for these projects to fall into. So until we get this clarity about what is really proof of work legally, what is proof of stake legally, what is XRP Consensus Federated Byzantine Agreement legally, then we could start to match up the other 20+ thousand cryptos in the space based on how their network operates. And you could quickly assign a bucket to that particular protocol in which it would fall into and how it would be regulated. That's the method to the madness I see happening here. And in the interim, we're watching Gary Gensler play whack-a-mole, right, with the entire industry with regulation by enforcement. It's scary, but that's what's happening. Right here we see next week, however, the EU is set to become the first major jurisdiction in the world to agree on a far-reaching crypto regulatory framework. Officials in the industry are already talking it up, and that's what we're wanting to hear right there, because the EU is huge, right? 27, 29 nations in the EU, whatever the current count is, it's a lot, right? And we know that Ripple applied for a license in Ireland to serve that entire EU jurisdiction as well. And boy, have we got some news to you about a Ripple partner getting a license for global cross-border payments. Hang in there. Here from Molly Elmore, give her a follow. The BRICS alliance continues to expand after the country's negotiations with the IMF on the loan were terminated. Tunisia is considering joining BRICS, as said the spokesman. Now, listen, I want to share this because if you remember yesterday, I believe it was, we covered the one of the presidents out of Africa talking about, former president out of Africa, who had explained that if you take the money from the World Bank or the IMF, then you're held to what they want you to do. There are strings attached, and that's the problem here. So now you see a lot of the incentive for these other countries to want to join BRICS to try to avoid that. But I believe they will run into the same thing in the BRICS coalition. It'll just be a different puppet master. Saudi Arabia is buying Russian oil at record levels and laundering it onto European market to evade U.S. sanctions. Nothing new here, but it goes to show that the sanctions are not harming and stopping Russia from their actions the way they were first thought to be. Now, we see Brazil's president calls to end U.S. dollar's trade dominance. This is, in fact, a BRICS coalition member. And this is a country that has deep ties with Ripple. Are they connected in a manner that can serve one another in a new world and new financial system? We yet to know that answer with 100% clarity. I am speculating that there are some deep ties there. And here we see Brazil's leader arriving in China to meet another BRICS coalition member. I'm sure it's nothing, right? What could this be? They're all calling for an end to U.S. dollar dominance. They're all visiting one another, whether it's President Xi to Saudi Arabia, which has an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, $15 billion with BRICS. We see that Brazil leaders going to shore up their relationship with China, right? We see the trading using the yuan instead of the dollar in certain instances now. There is a change a-coming, ladies and gentlemen, and I believe that a company like Ripple is positioned to serve just such a moment on every level, whether we're talking about central bank level or whether we're talking about corporate treasury level, businesses, however you want to say it, remittance companies. They have built the infrastructure for so many years to be prepared for a moment like this. They really have. Now, with that being said, I want to also remind you as well that we are looking at a new relationship. We covered this a couple days ago from the Central Bank of Montenegro in collaboration with Ripple. This is another amazing moment to recognize as well as this one. Thunes secures a French license for global cross-border payments. Thunes is a Ripple partner, and you should be following Matthew Linai. Now can offer cross-border payment services to non-bank financial institutions in the European Union, which I just reported to you on, that is about to pass the most far-spread, wide-reaching agreement on crypto regulatory framework. Anybody else smelling what we're stepping in here? Because I am. And we see here that Thunes gets that license. I want to remind you that Thunes is connected to Adijarwafa Bank via Ripple, the leader in enterprise and blockchain solutions and its global financial technology, RippleNet. The connection to RippleNet and Thunes will allow Adijarwafa Bank's customers to receive transfers from around the world initiated through Thunes network in a matter of a few seconds. Other Moroccan banks' customers can be reached using the local clearing. Morocco is the third largest remittance receiver in Africa after Nigeria and Egypt. With a large diaspora, it says a dynamic market and a sound regulatory framework to foster digital payment services and reduce costs. The World Bank estimates that personal remittance inflows increased strongly during the pandemic, reaching an estimated $7.4 billion USD by the end of 2020. Brooks Entwistle said this at the time: "We're thrilled to announce this extension to our existing partnership with Thunes, and together we look forward to providing faster, cost-effective, more transparent cross-border payments experience for customers in Morocco and the greater MENA region," which is Middle Eastern, North African region, right? This is very exciting to me. And it does say RippleNet, which doesn't necessarily mean ODL, which is XRP settlement, right? But it is a phase-in operation. It always has been. And it's okay that we speculate and wonder if they'll expand from using RippleNet to ultimately using on-demand liquidity where you can gain extra savings. You tell me what you think they'll do, right? I'd love to hear it. Put a comment underneath the video. That's going to do it for me. Hit the like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.